In this video, we're going to show you how to fit wall panelling. We're going to be fitting our Novu dado rail and two equal rectangle panels below with our Gemini wall panel mould. Firstly, you're going to need to measure the height and width of the wall that you'll be working on. These measurements will then need to be transferred to paper so you can draw up your design accurately. We're using a 1:10 scale ratio, so our 2.19 metre wall height will be 21.9 centimetres on paper and our 3 metre wall width will be 30 centimetres. We're going to be fitting our dado rail at 750mm high. We've chosen this height as traditionally dado rails are at a height that will protect the wall from furniture, but we also think that using the lower third of the wall will look the best aesthetically, but it's entirely down to personal preference. Now that we've drawn our dado rail, we can start to draw our panels. We want the areas around our panels to be completely equal and parallel. We've decided to have this at 120mm because again, we think it will look good aesthetically, but there's no real method to it. You can use trial and error to see what measurement will work best for your wall and design. With everything drawn, our panel pieces will be 1320mm in length and 440mm in height. Just like our drawing, we're going to start with our dado rail as it's the easiest thing to fit and it will act as a reference point for our panels. We're marking the wall at 750mm high as that's where we want the dado rail to sit on the wall. As we're working on a 3 metre wall, we're going to make a few markings across our wall just so it's a consistent height throughout. Once we're happy with our markings, we can draw our line straight with the spirit level. Depending on the length of your dado rail, you might need 2 people to offer it up and fix it, just to make sure it's sat flush on your markings. We're fitting the dado rail to the wall with a nail gun as we're in our demo area, which is a flat MDF wall, but we would recommend using Adhesive too for a stronger and snugger fit to traditional plastered walls. There are numerous ways you can draw your panels on the wall, but we're going to use what we believe to be the most cost-effective and simple way for DIYers. We're using a method called staffing. This involves using a piece of material the same size as the parallel gaps so that you know the spacing is consistent and you don't have to keep referring back like you would with a tape measure and pencil. We're cutting our 120mm staff with some spare MDF, but you can use anything as long as it's the same size as your gaps and is sturdy. Using our staff, we're going to mark our 120mm from the edges, and then we'll mark our 120mm heights, and we'll do this by running the staff along the wall while drawing at the same time. To get the gap in the middle of the wall between the 2 panels accurate, we need to measure the length of the panel, which is 1320mm, from our side staff mark, and then use that marking to staff the 120mm gap between the panels. Once you've done all this and lined up all your markings with a pencil and straight edge, we can start to get our panels on the wall. We already know the lengths of our panels are 1320mm, so we're going to mitre off one end ready, but then measure and cut down the other end to 1400mm. The reason why we're doing this is so that we have a manageable piece to offer up against the wall so we can mark our cut as accurately as possible, as the wall could be a couple of millimetres out compared to our drawing. Once we've got the mark on our panel, we can mitre this piece. Rather than repeating this method for the other panel pieces, we would recommend using this finished panel as a template to cut your other panels so that you know they're all exactly the same size. We've used the exact same method for our smaller side pieces, so again, they're all exactly the same size. Like fitting the dado rail, offer up your panels so that they're flush on your pencil line, and using the staff may help hold your panel in place while you're fitting it. If you've drawn your wall markings accurately and you've cut your panels correctly, all of your panels should fit snug and parallel. Just to mention again, we're fitting our panel pieces to the wall with a nail gun as we're in our demo area, which is a flat MDF wall, but we'd recommend using Adhesive too for a stronger and snugger fit to traditional plastered walls. Once your panels are fitted to the wall, you'll need to do some cosmetic work prior to painting. This includes punching in any exposed nails with a nail punch so that the head is sunk below the surface by at least a couple of mil. You'll need to fill any holes and mitres with filler, and you'll need to caulk the edge of your panels. We'd recommend wetting your fingers or using a wet cloth so that it rubs smoothly and sinks into your gaps nicely. And finally, sanding down the filler once it has dried. Check the instructions on the filler you use for drying time. Once the initial cosmetic work is done, it's time to paint our panels. We're going to paint our panels the same colour as our wall. Apply 2 coats of paint and your wall panelling is complete. We hope that this tutorial has covered off everything and helped you fit your wall panelling. If you do have any questions, please leave us a comment and we'll get back to you. We would love to see what designs you create, so please do tag us in your journey on Instagram. and you can tag us on @skirting4u. For more home tutorials, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.